Good evening. Ms. Rollo, Dean of Instruction, will present the mace.
Good evening. I declare this the 54th annual commencement for Delaware Technical Community College, Stanton and Wilmington campuses. Thank you.
Please remain I know we're excited. Please remain standing and please silence your phones. We are pleased to have the Newark Community Band with us tonight to play the national anthem. The invocation will be offered by Chaplain Andrew Werner of the Delaware National Guard.
Let us pray. Our Creator, we thank you for this occasion to recognize and celebrate the graduates. They've completed their course of studies, and it now gives them the ability to open more doors. We appreciate their efforts and also recognize the support friends and family gave them to reach this graduation day. We pray for wisdom as they move forward. We're grateful for the abilities you've entrusted to them. May they maximize their potential in the days, months, and years ahead. Almighty, we welcome your presence with us for this very special event. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Werner. Please be seated. Good evening. I am Dr. Laura Johnson, Vice President and Campus Director of the Wilmington campus of Delaware Technical Community College. I, along with Mr. Daniel Eman, Vice President and Campus Director of the Stanton campus, welcome you to the annual Stanton and Wilmington commencement ceremony. At this time, I would like to introduce the leadership of Delaware Tech, including members of our Board of Trustees, and I ask that they please stand as their names are called, and please hold all applause until all are standing. First, from our Board of Trustees, Ms. Nancy Shavak, Chair of the Board. Ms. Diane Glenn, Mr. Michael Hare, Mr. Robert Haggerty. Also joining us this evening is our college president, Dr. Mark T. Brainerd. Our vice president for academic affairs, Ms. Justina Thomas. Our associate vice president for academic affairs, Dr. Lisa Peel. Vice president and campus director, Stanton campus, Mr. Dan Eman. Vice President for Human Resources and Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, Dr. Valencia Lynn Beatty. Dean of Instruction, Wilmington, Ms. Karen Rollo. Dean of Instruction, Stanton, Dr. Dawn Bonavita. Assistant Dean of Instruction, Wilmington, Mr. Jason Doherty. Assistant Dean of Instruction, Stanton, Ms. Margie McKeeman. Dean of Student Affairs, Wilmington, Dr. Jeff Rose. Our keynote speaker, State Representative Melissa Minor Brown. Chaplain Andrew Werner. Our Alumni Association representative, Dr. Sharon Mossman. Our Faculty Senate Chair representative is Mr. Mike McCluskey. And our class of 2022 student speaker, Ms. Jasenia Hernandez. Thank you for their support. They may be seated. Other members of the college's President's Council and members of the Stanton and Wilmington Administrative Councils are also with us in the audience, and I would ask that they stand at this time to be recognized. Thank you all for your commitment and dedication to our students.
Members of the board, President Brainerd, Representative Minor Brown, Chaplain Werner, administrators, faculty, staff, family and friends, alumni, including the graduates from the classes of 2020 and 2021 who are on the floor this evening with us, and to the graduating class of 2022. Good evening. My name is Dan Eman. I'm the Vice President and Campus Director at the Stanton campus. Tonight, we celebrate the success of our graduates. We are incredibly proud of their accomplishments. This is a group with varied backgrounds, diverse goals, and inspirational stories. Let me share with you some interesting facts about the Wilmington and Stanton graduating class of 2022. This year, we are awarding 898 degrees and diplomas. There are 11 international graduates, and they are from 10 different countries. The average age of this class is 28. The youngest graduate is 18, and the oldest graduate is 71 years young. (850 or 95% of this class are Delaware residents. 15 are graduating with multiple credentials, including one student who has earned 3 associate degrees this evening. Outstanding. 463 or 52% are graduating with honors. (66 have a perfect 4.0 cumulative grade point average. 55 will receive the Bachelor of Science in Nursing this evening. Tonight is a family affair. We are graduating 6 sets of siblings, and also an aunt and her niece. And finally, we have 24 veterans and service members that are graduating tonight. So let's give them all a round of applause. Graduates, we know that each one of you has worked hard to get to this impressive milestone. We are all incredibly proud of all of you. Despite the challenges that you have encountered along the way, especially over the last 2 years, you managed to overcome them all to reach this finish line. And finally, today, you can celebrate. You now join the ranks of thousands of Delaware Tech graduates before you who have gone on to become our state's nurses, teachers, law enforcement officers, healthcare providers, business leaders, first responders, and more. We are looking forward to seeing where you go next, and we congratulate you on reaching this important goal. At this time, I'm honored to introduce our college president, Dr. Mark Brainerd. He was appointed as the college's 5th president in 2014. Prior to his current role, he spent more than 3 decades in executive-level leadership roles in higher education, business, and in state government in Delaware. Dr. Brainerd leads by example. He values people. He creates environments where creativity and collaboration can flourish. He is very proud to be a graduate of Delaware Tech, but most importantly, he is deeply committed to our college and to our students. At this time, please join me in welcoming our college president, Dr. Mark Brainerd, to the podium.
Well, thank you, Dan, and congratulations, graduates. I'm sure there were times when you thought you might not ever hear those words, I know, but your day has arrived, and it's now time to honor and celebrate your accomplishments. This is obviously an exciting moment for the class of 2022, but as you know, we're also joined tonight by the graduates of the classes of 2020 and 2021. And we are thankful to also honor and celebrate those students who graduated over the past 2 years, but never had the opportunity to walk across this stage at their own graduation. So again, congratulations to each and every one of you. Your hard work and determination is obviously paid off, and it's even more impressive that you achieved this milestone despite the incredible challenges of the last 2 years. As a fellow Delaware Tech graduate, I still remember, believe it or not, what it was like when I was sitting where you are today, feeling proud and quite relieved. But I was also feeling a bit anxious about what was next, what the future might hold, and if I could look forward to more successes like this. Needless to say, like some of you, I had a lot of questions, but there was one thing that I knew for sure, and that was I would not have made it to graduation without all of the help, support, and encouragement from so many people in my life. From family to faculty, a lot of people were there. So let's take a few minutes to say thank you to some of those very special people who helped you reach this goal, those you're probably thinking of right now. First, let's thank your families, all the parents, spouses, children, siblings, other loved ones here with you tonight, either in person or in spirit, who supported you when you needed it the most. Let's thank them. Now let's thank another group of supporters, some of whom are almost as excited about this day as you are. And I'm talking about the dedicated faculty and staff here at Delaware Tech who work hard every single day helping our students achieve their goals. So please join me in thanking our faculty, counselors, and advisors. And don't hesitate to thank them in person, because hopefully you'll keep in touch with all of those special supporters that you have in your lives. A quick review of tonight's program shows that many of you have not only reached this impressive milestone of graduation, but you've also excelled academically during your time here. We heard a little bit of that from Mr. Eamon. At Delaware Tech, we recognize the various levels of academic distinction based on the cumulative grade point average of our students. At this time, I'd like to recognize those members of the class who are graduating with academic honors. If you're wearing a white cord signifying that you are graduating cum laude with praise, having achieved a grade point average of 3.25 to 3.49, please stand at this time and we'll recognize you. Now, those of you wearing a silver cord, graduating magna cum laude with great honor, having achieved a grade point average of 3.5 to 3.79, please stand at this time. And those of you wearing a gold cord, graduating summa cum laude with highest honor, having achieved a grade point average of 3.8 to 4.0, please stand at this time. Many of you are also graduating from National Honor Societies, with those of you wearing the Gold Stole from Phi Theta Kappa, the Honor Society for Community Colleges, and the Blue Stole for the Alpha Beta Gamma Business Honor Society. Please stand. The final group of graduating students we'd like to recognize, and they're the students wearing red, white, and blue honor cords. These are our student veterans. At this time, I ask that anyone in the audience who has served or is currently serving in the United States Armed Forces to please stand to join our graduating veterans so we can recognize and thank all of you for your service. In closing, I just want to make sure that all of you know that today is just the beginning, and Delaware Tech has prepared you for everything and anything you want to accomplish. If you're sitting there, as I was many years ago, asking yourself whether you can get that bachelor's degree or that promotion or a new job, or if you can go to graduate school or medical school or law school, the answer is yes, a resounding yes. Yes, you can, yes, you should, yes, you must, because Delaware Tech has prepared you for everything and anything you want to accomplish. Again, congratulations, enjoy this special time, and please stay healthy and safe.
Thank you, President Brainerd, for your remarks. Tonight, we have a student from the class of 2022 that will introduce our commencement speaker. Jasenia Hernandez is graduating with an associate degree in nursing, and she looks forward to starting a nursing residency in the emergency room at Christiana Hospital upon graduation. Keep clapping, because at this time, please join me in welcoming Jasenia to the podium.
Good evening, members of the Board of Trustees, Dr. Brainerd, Dr. Johnson, Mr. Eman, President Council members, administrators, faculty, staff, family and friends, alumni, including the graduates from our classes of 2020, 2021, and the graduating class of 2022. Tonight, it is my pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker, State of Delaware, District 17, Representative Melissa Minor Brown, and Del Tech nursing alumna. Representative Minor Brown graduated cum laude from her class in both the Licensed Practical Nursing and Registered Nursing degree program at Delaware Tech. She also holds a master's degree in executive leadership from Wilmington University. Representative Minor Brown's call to service started a decade ago while working with our state service members at the Veterans Administration Hospital in Ellesmere, Delaware. During her 7-year tenure, she listened to the stories, challenges, and the concerns of her patients, which propelled her to run for office. She is a loyal supporter for the less fortunate and always strives to provide a voice for the voiceless. She is an advocate for nursing, continually seeking opportunities to advance the profession. To that end, Representative Minor Brown has been recognized as a Delaware Top Nurse Honorable Mention in 2018 and 2022. She was recently awarded the Dr. Katie Esterly Health Equity Award from the Delaware Healthy Mother and Infants Consultorium, where she serves as the lead for the Doula Task Force and the Social Determinants of Health Committee. In addition, House Representative Minor Brown also serves as the chair of House Corrections Committee and is vice chair of the House Health and Human Development Committee. She additionally serves as a member of the House Gaming and Pari-Mutuals Committee. Please join me in a warm Del Tech welcome back for Representative Melissa Minor Brown. Thank you.
Wow, that was a great bio. Thank you, Yesenia. You know, you always know when your nursing students or nursing grads walk in the room by the way the caps look. They look good. Thank you so much, Yesenia, and thank you, esteemed members of the faculty, board of directors, proud parents, extended families, and devoted friends. First, let me just say congratulations to all of you, everyone on the bleachers, and especially to the graduating class of Delaware Technical and Community College 2022. Give yourselves a hand. You deserve it. When I was told that Yesenia would be introducing me, of course I had to read her bio. And it was so impressive. So much of your backstory, Yesenia, reminds me of myself. It was so familiar to me. I too was a teen mom. I remember how timid I was. I didn't have a lot of confidence or self-esteem. But what I did have was determination, and I had a strong work ethic. I knew I wanted a better life for myself and for my daughter, and I knew the only way I was going to have it was through receiving a quality education. It wasn't easy, though. Yesenia, in your bio, you thanked many of the employees who work for Delaware Tech. You thanked them for their support throughout your time here and for continuing to encourage you. For a second, I thought I was reading about myself. I, too, received that strong support and empowerment when I was a student here at Delaware Tech. I had a lot of challenges being a young mom, and I didn't have that family support that a young person needs. But Del Tech became my family. My experience was tough, but I'm sure all of you can say yours was, especially with what you've been confronted with these last 2 years. You faced a life-altering pandemic, yet you sit here poised, ready to walk across the stage to receive your degrees. Yeah, that deserves a clap. That deserves a clap. Educators, students, and parents all had to reimagine almost every facet of learning in the last 2 years because the COVID-19 pandemic changed school as we knew it. And not just school, right? The whole world that we knew was turned upside down. Most of us were binge watching our favorite TV series on Hulu or Netflix, spending countless hours on TikTok, which I just learned about, Instagram and Facebook. I'm still trying to figure out Instagram. Stuffing ourselves with junk food, feeling guilty for the weight that we inevitably gained, but we were sad that we couldn't escape the house to go to the gym. And how many hours have all of you stared at the Zoom screen with your pajamas and slippers at the bottom and something that looked halfway professional on the top, seriously wanting to turn off your video, but you knew that your instructor was going to tell you to turn it back on? Don't be shy, raise your hand. How many of you were that student? Yep, me too. Or use the excuse that you had a bad connection because you were just so tired of being on Zoom. Because you lost your momentum. You got tired of looking at that screen. Or how many of you pretended to be frozen so that you wouldn't have to answer a question? Then you snuck your mouse over to the end meeting and got off. But you had to remain still when you did it. Guilty. I have watched more news over the last 2 years than I have at any point in my lifetime. I was glued to the TV screen watching the news every second. CNN became my favorite channel. The world felt like we were all in a calamitous free fall. The media constantly bombarding us with how unprecedented each new development was. If there was a motto for the current situation, it must be that we're living in uncertain times. But here is what I can tell you for certain. As I stand here looking out at all of your faces, beaming with excitement, anticipation of all the possibilities ahead of you, you guys are strong. You are capable and you are resilient, and you made it. You made it through a worldwide pandemic, and you are graduating today. It was Maya Angelou who said, "You may not control all of the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them." And the fact that you are sitting here just moments away from receiving your degree proves that. Think about your journey to get to this moment. For many of you, the path to commencement has not been an easy one. Some of you may have breezed through, and some of you may have gotten here by the skin of your teeth, but you're here, and that's all that matters. because your job is not going to be looking at your grades. You may be the first in your family to attend college. I was. Choosing to go to college in and of itself can be intimidating. There's forms to be filled out, meetings with advisors, placement tests to be taken, schedules to work through. You got to get your job schedule right. You have to make sure you have childcare. Your family needs to eat. And many of you faced other challenges along the way. Perhaps you have gone to school in between working or taking care of your family. There may have been times, I'm sure, when you wanted to give up, when it wasn't so easy to get that homework or paper done, but you did it. You persevered, and it has paid off. Celebrate your job well done. And as you revel in your accomplishments, be sure to give your families and your significant others, or that support person who was there for you and was your right hand during this time, give them a big thank you for all the times that they were there to support you. And I also want you to give it up for the faculty and the staff for all they did to assist you on your journey. Let's give them a hand. I started a moment ago to talk about how Yesenia's story reminds me of my own story in some respects. I can remember my time at Del Tech like it was yesterday. I started at the Stanton campus, then the Wilmington campus, which is now called the George campus. Then I ended at Terry campus in Dover. It really wasn't that long ago. I mentioned that I was a young teen mom and I didn't really have the support that I needed from my parents or anyone around me at that time. I was lost, but I knew that there had to be something greater in store for me. I was actually at my weakest point at that time. I had just received a shut-off notice for my electricity. I had gone to social services to request assistance with the past due amount, and they denied me because I had a job. My income wasn't enough to sustain, though, but I did have a job. And I had some of the money to pay the past due balance, but I didn't have the full amount to keep the electricity on. I remember walking out of that building, that social services building, feeling hopeless. I thought, man, my daughter and I are going to be living in an apartment with no electricity. What's next? Well, I'll tell you what I did next. I realized that if I remained in this space, I would never get out of it. I walked into Delaware Technical and Community College Stanton campus the next day, and I asked to speak to someone about furthering my education. I just said, I want to be a nurse. It was a life-changing experience. I walked in completely disempowered, broken, and hopeless, but I walked out of there fully empowered and ready to start this new chapter of my life. I started as a student in the practical nursing program, graduating in 2007. My daughter Isis was 5 years old at the time of my graduation, and I held her on my lap, and I'm sure many of you have children. I held her on my lap at that penning ceremony, and she looked up at me, not quite understanding what was going on, but instinctively knowing that something special was happening. I knew I was changed forever. I had this little person to take care of, to be a role model for, and I wanted for Isis every opportunity that I wanted for myself and more. I went on to successfully pass my boards and received my first license as a practical nurse, and I would return to Del Tech as my family to complete my associate's degree in nursing, graduating in 2010 as a registered nurse. Thank you. From there, there's more. From there, I went to Wilmington University to complete a dual degree. I graduated with my bachelor's in science and nursing in 2017 and my master's in science and nursing in 2018. Thank you. There's this saying that one of my teachers used to recite nearly every day when I was in elementary school, and I can still hear her voice in my head reciting this mantra: good, better, best. Never, never rest until your good gets better and your better gets best. And that's what I did and continue to do. And that's what I want all of you to do. Some of you are too young to know this, but your parents and grandparents will remember. And some of you will know this because Delaware Tech has a commitment to promote an inclusive and diverse opportunity for all adults, no matter where you are in your life. 50 years ago, a high school education was sufficient for getting a good job to support a family. In the 21st century, it takes some form of post-secondary education to get such a job. In making the decision to go to college, you have opened the door to a whole new world of opportunity. And today, we celebrate a commencement, a beginning or a start. As someone who believes in lifelong learning, it is my hope that this is only the beginning of your educational journey. I can tell you I'm still on my journey. I started another chapter in 2018, right after graduation, when I was elected to the Delaware House of Representatives, representing the 17th District at the age of 34. Thank you. I had no idea what I was doing at the time. I knew nothing about politics. It takes me back to when I made the decision to walk into Del Tech that day, so this must be the story of my life. I knew I needed to be in a different space to make the changes that were important to me. I had never ran a campaign before. Like I said before, I knew nothing about politics, but I had to figure it out. You know how I did it? I used the nursing process. Something I learned at Del Tech. For those of you who have no idea what I'm referring to, the nursing process is a systematic problem-solving method. There's 5 sequential steps: assessment, diagnosis, planning, implementation, and evaluation, right? All right. Assessment is the first step, and it involves critical thinking skills and data collection. I'll let you new nurses in on a little-known secret. It works in every area of your life. And I'm living proof of it. And for those of you who aren't nurses, those 5 steps work in every area of your life, not just nursing. Assessment, diagnosis, planning, implementation, and evaluation. I won my first primary with 56.7% of the vote. And I have to tell you something. As I was walking in, my opponent is here. I saw him. He's here. Hi, Dave. But not bad for a newcomer, right? I went on to win the general election, and the rest, as they say, is history. But I'm in good company. Did any one of you know that our 72nd and only female governor of Delaware, the late Honorable Ruth Ann Minner, was a graduate of Delaware Technical and Community College? Like me, she too came from humble beginnings, but went on to do extraordinary things to improve the lives of Delawareans. As an example, in 2005, Governor Minner signed legislation creating the Student Excellence Equals degree, also known as the SEED Scholarship Program, which allowed students to go to college for free in the state of Delaware if they had good grades and stayed out of trouble. Receiving a college education can be transformative, and that's why we continue with that SEED scholarship today. And I'm sure many of you have taken advantage of that opportunity. And I'm sure some of you have student loans, but that's okay, because I do too. My current piece of legislation, House Bill 340, within the 2022 Delaware Momnibus Act, stands on the shoulders of the early work set in place by Governor Minner under the auspices of the Infant Mortality Task Force. The Infant Mortality Task Force was convened in 2004 to address the high infant mortality rate in Delaware. We're currently at 28%. That same task force, 18 years later, is called the Delaware Healthy Mother and Infant Consortium. And I'm the chair of its 2 committees, and one of its standard bearers in addressing the Black maternal mortality crisis. Thank you. House Bill 340's goal is to improve the quality of maternal health, ensuring that full access to it improves health outcomes and reduces preventable pregnancy-related deaths. The 2022 Delaware Momnibus is by far one of my proudest moments as a legislator. And I have to thank Congresswoman Lisa Blunt Rochester for her Momnibus work down in Washington, D.C., and I saw one of her staffers sitting here that is graduating today. Congratulations, Jason. Thank you for the work that you're doing in the community with the Congresswoman. Included in that series is also a mandate for implicit bias training. Some people hear those words and they think, a mandate? Why should we be forced to take an implicit bias training? I don't have any bias. And those of you who say that need this training the most. We all have bias. And it's important to understand that and to have the ability to check it. You're all entering a workforce where you'll work with the community, where you're going to be communicating with the public daily. And bias exists in every aspect of society. Think about that patient with diabetes who's still having trouble managing it. Sits in the emergency room with dingy-looking clothes on. He might not smell the greatest. Blood glucose levels are through the roof. We might think they're just non-compliant and they don't care about managing their diabetes. They're not making good food choices and they're not taking their insulin. So they show up to the ER every other week, but nothing has changed. Well, did you know that there are barriers that exist that keep them from reaching those goals? This patient lost his family in a fire 8 years ago. He lost everything, even his mental health, his well-being, his dignity, his hope. He lost it all. He lives in a food desert with no grocery stores close by, only small corner stores with processed, salty foods and unhealthy beverages. He lives in an area where clean water is hard to come by, and yes, that does exist in Delaware. You have to drive miles to get to the closest fresh market, but he doesn't have a car. He filled his medication at the pharmacy, but the price of his insulin and his lancets and his needles was the same price that he had to pay to keep his electric on this month. So he chose to keep the electricity on. He does not want to be non-compliant. There are social determinants of health in the way of him successfully managing his own health. But when I first started talking about that man that sits in the emergency room, who drinks the unhealthy beverages, who doesn't monitor his blood sugar, if you thought he was non-compliant and not interested in improving his health due to him not taking his medication and not eating healthy, you, my friend, exhibit bias. I had a student once, an amazing student. She was young, 4 young children, unmarried, unemployed, but she was in school, and she loved to challenge me with everything, and I mean everything. She was top of the class, great grades, and then one day all that changed, and she began showing up late every day, not turning in her homework assignments, challenging me more, failing tests. My first thought was, oh, these young girls, no respect. One day, she had to bring one of her children to class because she didn't have childcare that day. Her little girl was so cute. And guess what? I think her little girl challenged me even more than her mother did. I couldn't believe it. And again, I thought, oh my goodness, these young girls, no respect. And one day I asked her to stay back during a break, and I asked her how she was doing because her grades had really dropped very low. And this is what she said. Miss Brown, I'm tired. I'm sleeping in my car with my children. My laptop cannot stay charged in my car. She had just left her abusive husband who was physically, mentally, and verbally abusing her and her children. Now, I could have easily given her zeros for the missing assignments and summed her up to being unmotivated, disrespectful, and challenging and said, oh, well, because she wasn't working as hard as her peers. I didn't have to pull her aside and ask her how things were going because it's quicker and it's easier to judge. But that, my friends, is bias. So bias does exist, and it exists in all of us. But it's up to us to check it at the door and always stop and assess and ask ourselves, what can we do to help the next person? What barriers is that person facing? That person might be struggling. So the next time that someone doesn't hold the door for you or cut you off in traffic or doesn't let you over in the lane when you know you need to get off on the off-ramp, don't aggressively slam on your horn and say, jerk. That person may have just lost a loved one, a child, or a parent, and they may be struggling. Maybe they were in deep thought. So next time that happens, remember to check your bias at the door, because we all have bias, myself included. Now, I have to say I'm extremely honored to be here speaking to you. Who knew I'd be here today? I never thought I would. When I left Del Tech in 2010 as a registered nurse, I wanted nothing to do with school again. Nursing school is hard. And some of you probably feel that right now. But I'll end where I began. Having a college education is a game changer. It really does open doors. If there's one message you take away from my story, I hope it's the value of education and focused persistence. Listen, you can be robbed of a lot of things, but nobody can rob you of your education. It's yours. It's yours forever. And remember, where you started does not have to be where you end up. You will face challenges along the way, but you have the ability to create possibilities for yourself and your life. I'm going to say that one more time. You have the ability to create possibilities for yourself and your life. Now, I defy all of you, as I have challenged myself, to commit yourself to continued growth and self-improvement, and stay focused on achieving your goals no matter what the setback is. And remember, check your bias at the door. Say it with me. Check your bias at the door. Now go forth and conquer the world. Congratulations, graduates. Delaware Technical and Community College Class of 2022! Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Melissa Minor Brown, for your inspirational message. So remember, don't rest until you do your best. So the state of Delaware has vested the trustees of Delaware Technical Community College by statute with the authority to grant diplomas, certificates, and degrees. In addition to diplomas and certificates in specialized programs, the college grants the degrees of Bachelor of Science in Nursing, Associate in Applied Science, Associate of Arts in Teaching, and Associate of Science to persons completing the required programs of study. Dean Rollo and Dean Bonavita will now present the candidates for graduation. And I'd like to call up to the podium a very special trustee to confer the degrees. She is a graduate of the Stanton campus, Trustee Diane Glenn.
At this time, members of the class of 2022, please stand. Okay.
Congratulations, graduates. On behalf of the entire board, I want to say that we are so proud of all the graduates that are honored tonight and wish you all the best in the future. Our class of 2020 and 2021 graduates here tonight have already had their degrees conferred through our virtual ceremonies for those years. So it is now time for me to confer the degrees of the class of 2022. And now, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the state of Delaware, I hereby confer upon those duly authenticated students the degree of the Bachelor of Science, the degree of Associate in Applied Science, Associate of Arts in Teaching, Associate of Science, or Diploma, together with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining thereto. Delaware Tech graduates, you may now change your tassels from the right to the left. Congratulations to the class of 2022.
Can we have the student marshals start to bring the first group up? Okay. All right. Yeah.
Bachelor of Science, Nursing, Michaela Carr. Lauren Fannin. Amanda Faith Johnson. Serena Charisse Justice. Crystal Lashley. Monique Brianna Lindo. Emma L. Sagerstrom. Kayla Elaine Shannon. Rodrika D. Richardson. Jessica L. Romano. Michelle Scott. Lauren A. Wilcox. Associate of Applied Science Nursing, Teresa Allen. Carmen Allen. Okay, you ready? Debusola Akintomede. Kennedy True Amato. Noah Antoine. Diana Asuman. Noah M. Bale. Brittany Baranowski. Shayla Marie Bartoli. Isabella Bradigan. Ashley Lauren Britt. Lauren Brown. Samantha Kathleen Brown. Jordan Cannon. Morgan Carey. Stephanie Lynn Charney. Chelsea Church. Gabrielle Mammy Combs. Cheyenne Crumley. Dina M. Davidson. Arshal Dixon. Sarah Ann Emery. Melinda R. Fish. Janaea Janika Furrow. Holly Lynn Gillen. Adrian Gray. Brian Richard Griffin. L'Oreal Tiana Hayes. Yesenia Hernandez. Marissa Holmberg. Victoria Marie Hondry. Latoya N. James. Randall Javen James. Brianna Elizabeth Jennings. Alexis Danae Johnson. Gloria Nicole Jolly. Jordan Jones. Julia Kay. Suzanne Keblin. Jacqueline R. Kitchens. Sarah Lee. Peyton Littleton. Govano Kemunto Reziki Magatoto. Haley Alexis McCall. Tina McGill Mususa. Fabiola Tabe McKinda. Alyssa Marie Messina. Caroline O'Brien. Marayu Orr. Yanita Ortega. Anna Elizabeth Ortega Betancourt. Angelina Papillo. Madison Parks. Christopher N. Reel. Cindy Rivera. Shay Sanderson. Pierre Santini. Amanda Sovana. Samantha Olivia Ayers. Alexis Leiloni Shoemaker. Amanda Ann Sleeper. Rachel Toller. Allison Page Tremmel. Daniel Safak. Sorry, Danielle. She lost her place. Are you Anthony? Okay. Anthony Trujillo Barriga. Brian Trong. Nina Trong. Quintera Whaley. Morgan Widows. Ryan Williams. Shantea Finley. I apologize, Shantia Finley. Associate of Science General Studies, Julie Alex. Stella Bello. Shauna K. Bennett Blake. Naomi Blanco. Leroy Dion Boyd Jr. Marcel Boyer. Alexandra Nicole Brown. Rashawn Butler. Elena Callahan. Alyssa N. Caparino. Charlene Cartagena. Shauna Tari Crenshaw. Monet Cooper. Courtney P. Curry. Brianna Diamichis. Krista Graves. Sophia Enriquez. Alexis Hester. Melissa Hunter. Shiloh Johnson. Melanie LeBron. Charmaine Levy-Brown. Iris Mensa. Diana Annabelle Mercado. Hillary Moore. Kashana Nelson. Ade Tokondo Okeneya. That was close. Margaret Oyaro. Chidi Pelham. Ayana Phillips. Emily Rael. David Joseph Roberts. Hannah Lynn Rollman. Carla Rosado. Mary Ann Ross. Leslie Sanchez Diaz. Haroon Sultan. Jasmine T. Tillman. Kyle Matthew Varnachek. Damon T. Watson Archie. Glenda Wilkerson. Salma Youssef. Associate in Applied Science, Biological Sciences, Dalia Abdulsalam. Hassan Gunaidan. Ariana Jepekic Murgo. Diamond Webb. Elizabeth Ashlyn Yita. Associate in Applied Science Biotechnology, Naisa Shanice Brown. Law DiMeglio. Associate in Applied Science, Chemical Process Operator, Randy Curcio. Amanda Yanibe Garzon. Associate in Applied Science, Chemistry, Chemistry Math Concentration, Brooke Deschamps. Ashley Hasty. Rachel Kirkpatrick.
Associate in Applied Science, Cardiovascular Sonography, Alina Kramarava. Associate in Applied Science, Dental Hygiene, Cedra Ali Amaldrahi. Shanice Berry. Sydney A. Book. Denasia Boyd Chambers. Brooke Ashley Brinton. Okay. I don't have a last name here. Tiffany Carr? Okay. Kylie Chillis. Jacqueline Domino. Melissa Carolina Galvez. Daisy Garcia. Eliel Gonzalez Gomez. Emily Brooke Groton. Jenna Christine Huber. Johanna Lim Lee. Melissa Maldonado. Angela Morales Amato. Frankie Lynn Roman. Shannon K. Ruth. Neha Sahu. Darian Brooke Scott. Savannah Sherman. Brittany Stapleford. Sama Salah Taleb. Ioana C. Todakasopoulos. Grace M. Walker. Associate in Applied Science, Diagnostic Medical Sonography, Krista N. Abbott. Karima Eslifani. Lauren Hunter. Aretha M. Isaacs. Kristen N. Morton. Kimberly A. Weicker. Associate in Applied Science, Exercise Science, Corey E. DeShields. Madison Parks. Evan Prusis. Jillian Rossiter. Aubrey D. Smith. The hat's gotta go. I'm losing it. It's coming off. So, okay, thanks. Associate in Applied Science, Health Information Management, Shawan Akhtar. Jennifer S. Fury. Kelly Hunnings. Ramanjit Kaur. Carl D. Martin II. Renee D. Mitchell. Zita Jilonging. Loida Soto. Chastity Yvonne Washington. Jessica Wilson. Associate in Applied Science, Histotechnician, Aliyah S. Abdullah. Alice Aqua. Kaylin R. Musser. Veronica Isabel Soriano. Associate in Applied Science, Medical Assistant, Jacqueline Blemo. Faria Asan Chowdhury. Dinah Diaz. Louis-Jens Etienne. Shanae Annette Fassett. Caitlin Foraker. Kristen Garver. Rosa Emily Gomez. Therese L. James. Madeline Jenkins. Makisha Renee Lee Marshall. Ashley A. Mazzoni Testa. Tanasia Elizabeth McCoy. Jolprina W. Meads. Lindsay Nichols. Lisa Sentman. Clara Denisha Shaw. Sierra Denisha Shaw, sorry. Abigail Starabinsky. Yaron Turan Tolbert. Fatima Michelle Zavala Orozco. The Diploma in Medical Assistant Studies, Lauren Cox. Associate in Applied Science, Nuclear Medicine, Jessica E. Catrone. Nicole P. DeAngelis. Lauren DeVoe. Associate in Applied Science, Occupational Therapy Assistant, Emily E. Allen. Rachel Nicole Carlson. Shannon L. Davis. Ashley J. Hickman. Danielle Hunter. Samantha Kane. Slow down a little. Robin A. Martin. Courtney E. Norris. Sabrina Wire. Associate in Applied Science, Physical Therapist Assistant, Sine Clark. Angelica Fernandez. Allison Frank. Mackenzie Franzen. Sean Hagelstein. Amanda Madeline Hopkins. Emily Infanti. Marie Metler. Sarah Adrian Midnight. Brenda Munoz. Connor J. Sturdivant. Stephanie Suarez Gerardo. Robert J. White. Oh, we do have. Associate in Applied Science, Radiologic Technology, Ronell Christopher. Rebecca Michelle Davis. Sumra Farouk. Diana Mothi. Latoya Phillips. Associate in Applied Science, Respiratory Care, Brianna Jobert. Devin Kearney. Etta Marion. Mark Medley. Caitlin L. Sexton. Associate of Science, General Studies, Kayla Watkins. Corinne Harris. Jessica Shaw. Okay.
Joseph Jaskolka, Jaskolka. You're good, that's awesome. Ashley A. Banning. Demetra Boyd. Miranda Louise Brewer. Malik Broom Cummins. Chelsea Castro. Christopher Deerfels. Delaney Durchek. Rebecca Goslin. Taylor Mirando. Elizabeth A. McNeil. Alisa Denise Inez Nora Medley. Carmela R. Muscalino. Jasmine Nepomuceno. Mayrab Noor. Jared Owens. Cindy Geraldine Reyes. Lexus Small. Jason M. Talerico. Leah Varnum Trotta. Adela Tapia Torres. Herberto Vasquez Santos. Tyshonda Tainika Larone T. Walker. Oh, I'm sorry. Miyoshi Candace Marie Wright. Cameron Nguyen. Luz Angelica Zermano Hernandez.
Associate in Applied Science, Drug and Alcohol Counseling, Terrence Anderson. Juanina Polly Lopez. Donna L. Lupacino. Talia Poteet. Emily Van Vlack. Associate in Applied Science, Human Services, Madison P. Belford. Daniel J. Bernard. Brittany Elizabeth Campbell. Selena Jetter Currington. Jessica Diaz Gonzalez. Patricia A. Hutchinson. Carmen Jimenez. Shakita Monique Johnson. Yolanda R. Johnson. Jessica E. Killey. Congrats. Dominic M. Kling. Jeffrey A. Cook. Maniqua Shane Lambert. Diana Lara. Dinae Lee. Kevin Danye Martin. Jason McCall. Lauren G. Myers. Shakia Register. Jasmine Rosa. Tanya L. Russell. Tamika Sherman. LaKayla Rose Williams. Monica Antoinette Williams.
Associate in Applied Science, Criminal Justice, Law Enforcement, Anthony R. Brandt. Jocelyn Brooks. Leah Kathleen Suma. Annabella Christina Zias.
Associate in Applied Science, Accounting, Saida Manur Ali. Emiliano Amigan. Sarmina Ayasi. Aim Salit Lanua Banks. Jerica Bell. Drawapati Bisram. Eileen Bovell. Victoria Naisha Brown. Shira Donovan. Mark Allen Grunza, Jr. Quinn Marie Jackson. Morgan Jungling. Myra Cynthia Lopez Gamino. Yuen T. Nguyen. Abril Catalan Olis. Tanisha Rose. David Stokes. Adriana R. Swan. Yahira Vasquez. Associate in Applied Science, Business Administration, Michaela Donahue. Brenda V. Fuentes. Aiden D. Glick. Samantha Mitchell. Esmeralda Rodriguez Areola. Noah Velasquez Segura. Associate Applied Science Entrepreneurship, Taiwo Adedoyin. Michael Broadnax II. Miguel Charles. Termaine Jenkins. Emmanuel Ortiz Guzman. Giovanni Paredes. Carrie A. Warren. Associate in Applied Science, General Business, Monica Brittingham. Sherika Burrow. Kristen Wagner Cerise. Jared Terrell McGarity. Rhonda Quarles. Nicole Ross. Antonio B. Sanichar. Gabrielle Marie Wolf. Associate in Applied Science, Hospitality Management, Talisha Moon. Lauren Pawlowski. Associate in Applied Science Management, Jasmine M. Chisholm. Randall Paul Eastridge II. Maria Guido. Darius Henson. Eric Amos Ortiz. Maya Rosa Scott. Quincy L. Thomas. Yuritsi Ruby Trujillo Villagomez. Megan Williams Stewart. Associate in Applied Science Marketing, Anthony J. Hudson. Maria Guadalupe Moran Ardon. Onitha Savage. Molly Taylor. Ready? Switch.
Associate in Applied Science Culinary Arts, Noah Aguilar. Lakeisha Marie Atkinson. Christopher E. Batinger. Sierra Cole. Lee Arion. Marie S. Gordet. Gianna Wanea Harris. Jasmine Nicole Highland. Malcolm Jackson. Brianna L. Johnson. Henry Law. Lindsay Leonard. Timeka Beverly Mann. Chikodi Nabinwe. Justin Ellsworth Tutterow. Mariana Vences Nava.
Associate of Arts in Teaching, Early Care, and Education, Hanifa Allen. Michelle Campbell. Roxanne Latoya Coleman. Kwame Tashife Covington. Madeline Thelma May Cunningham. Samantha Dixon. Casey Guthrie. Juliana Hansley Thomas. Pamela Joyce Majorano. Letitia Miller. Leslie D. Overa. Samantha Lynn Singleton. Courtney Sisifo. Jocelyn Vieira. Julissa M. Young. Associate in Applied Science, Early Childhood Development, Anika Michelle Demby. Destiny Kirkcaldy Williams. Associate of Arts in Teaching, Elementary Education, Yasmin Abdullah. Cassidy Draper. Astrid D. Gonzalez Acosta. Gina E. Rotenberry. Laura Schaefer. Teresa Taylor. Associate in Applied Science Paraeducator, Regina S. Johnson.
Associate in Applied Science, Architectural Engineering Technology, Christopher Bourne. Christopher R. Hewlett, Jr. Taya Von Miller. Kimberly Rummelt. Mauricio Vivero. Handan Yardim. Miguel A. Zurita. Associate in Applied Science, Civil Engineering Technology, Isaiah A. Beard. Kalisha Yvonne Dix. Nermeen Ali. Associate in Applied Science, Computer Engineering Technology, Jesus M. Rodriguez. Associate in Applied Science, Computer Aided Engineering, Drafting and Design Technology, Jordan Beckley. Matthew S. McGonigal. Mason H. Nickel. Amy Venuto. Associate in Applied Science, Construction Management Technology, Michael Joseph Atkinson. James E. Hughes III. Modi Ojukutu. Alvaro Orozco Pantoja. Michael A. Smith. Maria G. Trujillo Hernandez. Associate in Applied Science, Electrical and Computer Engineering Technology, Brendan Baird. Robin A. Depto. Bernard Fixing Uwu. Andres D. Ramirez. Elizabeth Ramirez Duran. Associate in Applied Science, Electronics Engineering Technology, Dean Y. Alarshid. Associate in Applied Science, Electronic Engineering Technology Transfer Option, Lawrence J. Spates. Associate in Applied Science, Environmental Engineering Technology, Sierra Michelle Ellis. Joshua Hogg. Associate in Applied Science, Electronics Engineering Technology, Instrumentation Engineering Technology, Baral Nagbi Nayanfor. Associate in Applied Science, Mechanical Engineering Technology, Salvador Antonio Lopez. Kaylin Eberly. Joseph P. Jelnick. Jacob W. Law. Honorio Ortez Bernal. Derek Pleasanton.
Associate in Applied Science, Computing and Information Science, Giovanni K. Brown. Robert A. Halbrick. Haley McNellis. Samuel Odiende. Regis Jet Puebla. Denise Reyes Pico. Associate in Applied Science, Information Technology and Networking Programming, Philmon Abraham. Saad Ali. Gabriel M. Ankra. Omar Mohammed Bajukafi. Brian Eastridge. Frida Effo. Abdul Al-Faiso. Jeremy Michael Frist. Michael Hoyle. Alexandra Isabel Negron. Ashley Patron. Zachary Paulson. Brandon Riley. Michael A. Schools. Robert J. Schaus. Robert P. Vanderhoost. Mohammed Baba Zakaria. Sarah Zepeda.
Associate in Applied Science, Automotive Technology, Geraldo Bahina. Luis Gerardo Cordon. Richard D. Gillis. Larry Trudell Guafmi. Kyle Marinson. Nigel McIntosh. Michael Miller. Maharshi Rowal. Isaiah Witters.
Associate in Applied Science, Entrepreneurship, Aliasia Lamontez Everett.
Associate in Applied Science, Culinary Art, Precious Miles. Associate in Applied Nursing, Augusta Azimone.
Associate in Applied Science, Human Services, Lynette Lynn Marshall. Associate in Applied Science, Drug and Alcohol Counseling, Niama Anye DuPont. Associate in Applied Science, Human Services, Syesha Moody. Got it?
Congratulations, class of 2022! So you have now transformed from students to graduates to brand new alumni. And now to properly induct you, here is the president of the Newcastle County Alumni Association, Dr. Sharon Mossman.
With the authority vested in me by the Constitution and the bylaws of Delaware Technical Community College Alumni Association, it is my honor and privilege to formally induct Delaware Technical Community College's 54th graduating class of the Stanton and Wilmington campuses into the Alumni Association with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities that pertain thereto. Congratulations.
So as we come to the end of this celebration, I will ask the new alumni to remember your connection to Delaware Tech as part of your history, and please stay connected with your Delaware Tech family. Please stand. The benediction will be offered by Chaplain Werner. Graduates, please remain standing after the benediction, and members of the audience, please be seated after the benediction and remain seated until the recessional has ended. Thank you. Chaplain Werner.
Let us pray. Almighty, as this chapter closes, a new chapter is beginning for these graduates. We pray for your blessings on them today and their tomorrows. May they continue to work hard and create doors of opportunity which will help themselves individually and also help us as a community and a state. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. Amen.